Hey, Ecamm fam, Jill, your community manager here at Ecamm. Happy to see ya. I've got a tip of the week for you. And it's not a traditional like techie tip, like, let me show you how to do this in Ecamm, but it's a tip that I think might help our community be even better and stronger and more amazing than it already is. All right, this has been inspired from a conversation I had with my buddy Doc yesterday. We were talking about things that come up in the community, common questions, and we're creating a lot of content behind the scenes to address that. So if a lot of people are asking questions about overlays, we can make more videos about overlays. All of that, lots of good things to come. But as I was talking with my friend, I was able to identify that there's a common issue that comes up that I'm not always sure how to navigate. So here it is. The problem is we sometimes need more information to help you better in the community. You've got a question, you're running into something, and you know something's like not working the way that you expected it to, or maybe you don't have enough practice yet, or maybe the verbiage is new, or maybe you're coming from a different software. So you need help to navigate Ecamm, but you don't always know maybe how to ask the right question. That's totally fair. I am not dogging on anybody for asking a question that's not perfectly worded. I'm not here to pick apart your language. But I was telling Doc that this reminds me of telehealth appointments. So I literally had a telehealth appointment the other day, and I was like, they always ask the same 3 questions, and it would be so good in the community if people, as they're contacting support or posing questions here in our space, could include these type of things. So at a telehealth call, this is what they always start with. They ask you to confirm your identity. So sharing who you are and maybe what you're trying to do with Ecamm. Let us know who you are, what you're trying to do, and that you're using Ecamm, because sometimes people ask questions that have nothing to do with Ecamm. We do our best to help, but I'm just saying, I'm just calling it out. Just not a big deal. Okay. Next thing that they always do is they ask you what your current medications are, or at least they ask me, because the list is long. When I think current medications here and how it relates to Ecamm, I think about what are you currently doing or what are you currently working with? So for example, if you're facing an issue where you feel like your video or your overlays are kind of stuttering a little bit, we know that we're going to be asking about memory. We're going to be asking about what the specs are on your computer. How's your storage? Also, what are you using to connect your cameras to? So there's some information that you guys could give at the beginning that will immediately help us navigate what the issue might be. Same goes with customer support. So knowing what Mac you're working on and what storage you have, that type of stuff is really good to have ready to communicate, whether you put it all in your question or not. We're probably going to want to know that to be able to further help you. And the final question that they always ask is any updates. So for my doctor's like, have you had any recent falls? Okay, I'm not that old, but still fair question. They'll ask me if I've had any recent diagnoses or any trips to the hospital or anything else like that. So as it relates to Ecamm, you could think, did you do a recent update to your computer? Have you integrated any new hardware or software? Is there anything that you've changed from the last time that you used Ecamm successfully to now that it would be good for us to know? Because it might have an impact. For example, I had an issue the other day that I thought was an issue. Like I was like, what? This Ecamm thing, I'm telling you, isn't working the way I thought. Literally, I just had to change something in my Zoom settings. So there was completely separate from Ecamm, but there was a Zoom setting that I needed to include to basically show some items on my desktop that were hidden before. Nothing to do with Ecamm. It literally was a setting in Zoom. So my tip of the week is that as you're sharing things in the community, as you have different questions that come up, it's good to kind of go through some of these things and share these to, you know what? I'm just going to say it, what you're all thinking. Help me, help you. Help me, help you. Also, I just want to remind you that YouTube is your best friend. We do have a ton of content that's out there made by us or made by people who are strong Ecamm users. And by the way, we are working on a whole educational platform. So that's what I'm working on behind the scenes with the team. We're working really hard on creating onboarding and beginner playlists and advanced playlists and all the things you want to learn in Ecamm. We're working on that. But in the meantime, help me help you. Know what I'm saying? All right. Love you guys. You're doing a great job. Hope you enjoyed this tip of the week. Tip of the week. I'll see you later in the community tip of the week. Hey!